Welcome back, everybody. Jumping right into it here. Let's bring in our good man, Andy McNamara from Ultimate Franchise Fantasy Sports. He's been waiting a while. Sportsnet, the Browns podcast. Andy, how you doing, my dude?
Oh, Rod, doing good, brother. How are you?
Really good, really good. I hear that you're coming here to the headquarters. I'm excited to bring you into town, but I want to jump right into the National Football League, Andy, if you don't mind. And I don't know where Moose found it, but he said the Cleveland Browns rated the best offensive line in the National Football League. Hey, do you agree with that? And what do you see ahead for the Browns?
I'm going to definitely agree with it for sure. I'm all in, obviously, but in just taking a step back and trying to be unbiased about it, I agree. You have as complete an offensive line, and you follow the dollar bills across that line. It proves it. You got going into his second year, Jedrick Wills, who was drafted in the first round. He's there. You have Conklin bookending him on the right tackle side. Joel Bitonio, who is a Pro Bowl left guard. J.C. Treader, who's a stud at center. And then right guard Wyatt Teller, who was pretty much given to the Browns 2 years ago from the Buffalo Bills for like a fifth-round pick. And the guy was an absolute mauler and stud in the trenches. So, yeah, and I think it's important that they spend that much money on that quality offensive line when you're a run-first team. You want to make life as comfortable for Baker Mayfield in the pocket, but also get as much push for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and that two-headed monster in the backfield.
I'm just looking at the Browns' preseason schedule here, and I believe they have a tough regular season schedule out of the gate. Do they not? What's your analysis of what the Browns have done so far here this month?
Yeah, for the regular season schedule, it's a National Football League. You're going to get some cupcake ones, yeah, but like the old saying, any given Sunday, for real, right? Like that's the truth of the matter. So for the Browns, though, for the first time, guys, in ever for me, I'm confident. They have built this team where you don't have to be afraid of anybody. You start at week 1 against the Chiefs. Get it out of the way. You were a whisker away from defeating them in the playoffs last year. Chiefs don't scare me. I think the Chiefs are a damn good team, don't get me wrong. But I don't see anybody in the NFL, if this Browns team is healthy, that you have to go in and be like, oh, man, you're definitely not winning that one like in years past. They have the pieces to hang with absolutely anybody. I think they added smartly and efficiently in free agency. You have Jadeveon Clowney looking the healthiest he's looked since his rookie year. He's happy. He's pumped. He's playing opposite Myles Garrett. You get those two healthy? Let's think about that. You get Clowney, who's a physical monster. You get Garrett, who's a freak show. And Clowney's never had any help. As a solo pass rusher, has not lived up to his first overall status. But he's never had a complementary piece. He's always been able to be double teamed. So when you cannot do that anymore, what happens? What does that look like? The safety position's been a bit banged up. That's a little bit of a concern. I think you're fine enough at cornerback. J.O.K., the rookie out of Notre Dame, looks like an absolute monster as far as not size, but speed, sideline to sideline, a real sort of Joker type position going all over the place. So the defensive side, while not as strong as offense, they've added enough pieces, I feel, where if health gets you through to a certain point, you're going to be in every single ball game.
Sprinkling in some comments from our viewers. The general in Calgary says Mahomes should scare him. LOL. From Got Milt. Nope. Hang on. We'll talk about the Chiefs in a second. But from Got Milt in Winnipeg says, that's good. I'm confident the Steelers will trounce them. What happened in the playoffs last year, bro? Oh, I know.
Get out of here, Milt.
From William.
Get out of here, Milt.
From William and Lloyd. I know. From William and Lloyd. Rod. He says, I like the Browns' chances this year and the Bills. But, we started this talking about O-lines. And like the Kansas City Chiefs, for whatever reason, they got destroyed in the Super Bowl by Tampa. There's no doubt. And they've put some money into their offensive line. But we're talking about the defending AFC champions, for God's sakes. How bad could their O-line have been? But what do you see out of the Chiefs? Are they going to be better this year?
I think so. You're getting pieces back. Remember all the opt-outs across the league from COVID last year as well. All those guys are coming back. All joking aside, the Chiefs are still the team to beat in the AFC until they're not. When you have Patrick Mahomes under center, that keeps you in every single ball game. You're never out of a ball game. The defense is good enough. Could it be better? Yes. The running game, fantasy football-wise, is a mess. I want nothing to do with it. But real life-wise, I think you have enough of a sprinkle and a mix and match in a pass-first offense that is going to be able to get the job done. And you still have Travis Kelce without, by the way, how weird does he look without his long hair and the beard? Like, he just looks like an old dad or something now. I don't know. It's like, did he lose his swagger? What happened? Kelce, what's wrong? The swagger's gone.
It's
no
a rebrand.
Chains?
It's a rebrand.
Hope he didn't shave off the mojo, right? Hopefully he didn't manscape too much. Great reads, by the way, Rod. That was phenomenal. I was laughing the whole way. That was tremendous. But I think the Chiefs are going to be the team to beat. Chiefs are going to be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. Milt, by the way, says, what happened the last 20 years, boys? How about what happened last game?
Last 2 games, Rod. 20 years ago. Hey, the Browns won a whole bunch of championships in the 50s and 60s, Milt. How far you want to go back? We had Jim Brown. How about that? Turkey Jones spike pile drove suplexed Terry Bradshaw into next year in the 70s. How far you want to go back? I'll go all the way back.
Hey, let's talk about tonight's game, by the way. Let's talk about tonight's game. Patriots, Eagles, 5:30 Mountain, 7:30 Eastern. The Patriots have not named a starting quarterback yet for week 1 because they don't know. The Eagles know who theirs is going to be. What intrigues you about tonight's game?
I want to see Jalen Hurts' development. I've been a Jalen Hurts truther since before he was drafted, coming out of the draft. I think he is an underrated passer of the football. I think a lot of people just see him as a little scrambly guy. And you're going to look at the completion percentage from last year, guys. You're going to look at that, and you're going to look at the box scores, and you're going to think, well, that's not very good. And it isn't. But one, he was thrown in the Carson Wentz debacle in an old coaching staff with no training camp or anything. And 2, you have to watch the games because instead of getting sacked like Carson Wentz was a million times behind a bad offensive line, Hurts threw the ball away. Very interesting that a rookie is that mature. How often do we see guys try to go Superman, run through things, hold on, try to do too much? Jalen Hurts threw the ball away. So the completion percentage came down, but he wasn't taking sacks, and it was live to fight another day. He's a leader of men. I think we're going to see a huge step forward for Jalen Hurts with the Eagles. So I'm very bullish about him, and I think it is going to be a great season for Hurts as he takes that step forward. Now, for the Patriots, guys, tell me what you think about this. At least when you have, to me, the smartest way to build a quarterback room is to have a backup that at least when you go, if the starter goes down, can come in and run the playbook. Let's look at Buffalo. Josh Allen, his backup, Mitch Trubisky. Same big type of guy, can throw the ball, is mobile. Okay? You got that. You look at, for the Browns, you got Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum. Both can run, both can bootleg, both can move a little bit. For the Patriots, you have Cam Newton and Mac Jones. You could not have 2 different quarterbacks. So the problem to me with this whole situation is if you don't name one like after tonight, and even into the season when if Cam Newton's the guy, inevitably, I hope he doesn't because he's very entertaining to watch, but inevitably it seems recently he's going to get hurt. So when you bring Mac Jones in, you have to have a completely different playbook because Mac Jones is not running. Mac Jones does not have the same type of intangibles that Cam Newton does. It's a totally different playbook. That's what doesn't make sense to me. And I feel that if you are the Patriots, do you really think Cam Newton's your future quarterback for the next 5 years? If you did, you wouldn't have drafted Mac Jones. Go with Mac Jones from day one. Coming out of the draft, to me, he was the most NFL ready. I think he has the lowest ceiling as far as talent and upside long term, but the highest floor from a day one starter from an NFL ready skill set. I don't know why you just don't go with Mac Jones and have Cam Newton on the sideline because it's 2 totally different playbooks.
Yeah, I know, but they were saying in Jacksonville, why not start Gardner Minshew and not ruin Trevor Lawrence, which I think they're going to play Trevor Lawrence anyways, but it's the same sort of argument there. Last one from Big Fan 2019 watching on YouTube. It's a lacrosse question. Andy says, what do you think of The Rock moving from Toronto to Hamilton this year? We've got about a minute for that. Well, it's made my commute a lot longer. I'll tell you that, Rod. That's for sure. I'm about a 2+ hour drive if the traffic's good from Hamilton. So that's a bit of a haul from a personal standpoint. But overall, look, we know from the CFL side, the sports fan type in Hamilton. Rabid, very supportive. In Toronto, while there's a hardcore group, you inevitably get lost behind the Leafs, the Raptors, the Blue Jays, just an overall market.
in Hamilton, you're going to be able to have a bigger piece of the pie with a very passionate fan base in a first-class facility like First Ontario Centre. So I think the move from a business standpoint and from a growth standpoint makes a ton of sense for the Rock.
Wow, you wrapped that up very well.
Pretty good.
All right, Andy. Listen, I'll be looking for you when you get to the world headquarters here. I can't wait to see you again. Yes. I appreciate all you do and appreciate the time today.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hey, Rod, let me tell you, people can tune in on aosports.tv Saturday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, to the UF-AFL player draft, which is the first round. We're going to have everybody on camera, including like the Chris Carter group, Martin St. Louis, and Steven Stamkos bought a team. Nick Lewis has a team. They're all going to be on camera making their first-round picks, so it's going to be a fun show.
Thank you for that, Andy. Appreciate it. We'll be talking it up. All right, have a great day, bud.
See you guys.
Andy McNamara from Ultimate Franchise Fantasy Sports, Saturday morning, aosports.tv. It's new. You'll be hearing a lot about it over the next 48 hours.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.